Hello, everybody. Welcome to Profiling Evil Choir Practice. Skylar, how you doing tonight?
Good. How are you tonight or this morning or wherever it is for you?
Yeah, this is the first choir practice I think I've done at 3 a.m. So this will be interesting.
Yeah, I'm sitting at a nice 6 p.m. comfortable. You haven't had much sleep.
No, no, that's the job of an adult at times to just go and journey forward. Hey, a lot of folks piling in. I want to just say thanks to all of our mods. It was really nice to jump on today and see things, see people piling in right now. Melody McAtee, thanks for being here. Rebecca Hartman, Michelle Morris, Mimi J2, thanks for being here. PJ, really, really nice to see you all. Linda Petrovich. Anyway, yeah, it's been a busy couple of days. I've kind of lost track of time since Friday. It's been whirlwind, and Latvia is amazing. Uh, the it's nice and cool up here, which has been nice coming from our place. But it's been crazy at home too. I wanted to jump right in and start talking about some of the stuff that's been happening, and I'm sure you'll have some instruction for me. But uh, Brian Laundrie's still missing in action, and people are searching. I jumped on one of the news channels just a minute ago before the show started, and they're still out in the reserve looking for him, expending a lot of time and money, which is kind of interesting because we also have provided a little support on the Robinson case, Daniel Robinson down in Arizona, African American, and that father's begging for help to get help, and yet we're seeing all that's being expended up in Florida. It's kind of interesting to see how some areas respond and others seem not to.
Yeah. I it's I've been trying to follow everything happening this week, and just like last week, I don't think there's a chance to follow everything anymore. It's just so much is happening, so many people are doing different things, and I think as we've noticed in the creator world is more and more cases are being brought to light. I think we're seeing the positive effects of keeping cases alive and people talking about them and getting them out in the world, and it's been interesting. It's become a very hot topic where lots of people that don't typically talk about true crime are now talking about true crime, different talk shows, things like that.
Yeah. Uh, Christine Patching, thank you so much for that super
Yeah.
sticker. Yeah, that's really nice and incredibly helpful. It's we've got to spend a little time tonight, maybe touching on the day bells. We'll see what's happening with the questions that people have. Got some new stuff on the Morphew case and what's happening with Shoshone, and so lots of wacky things going on in those cases. We haven't talked about the West Boys for quite some time out in California City, and again, we're just not hearing things. And the way we kind of do things is we wait until there's something coming from government and something that's official.
Yeah. Well, I think tonight should be a fun night for everybody. And again, everybody, Mike is in Latvia right now, 3 in the morning for him. And so it is, oh, wow. Let's see. Sophia Torb. I don't know what UYU is, what currency that is. Maybe the guys can look it up in the back. All you can afford. Maybe all I can afford, but so worth it. Keep it up. Oh, Uruguay, South America. Very cool. I have one of my
Yeah,
best friends lives in Montevideo. So that's awesome. Very
that is
cool.
so nice. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, it's 3 a.m. for Mike, and we're on a call with him, I don't know, 6 or 7 hours ago, and told him to go to bed, but he did not. He stayed up researching things, and trying to make sure he can have answers for everybody on different things today. So we want to do another Ask Me Anything, which is an AMA, but Ask Mike Anything. So I have my trusty notepad because I got in lots of trouble last week because I missed a lot of questions.
Oh, good.
And partly I'm blaming you for talking too long, but then I got in trouble for blaming you, so it doesn't matter anymore. So I'm going to be making sure to write down as many as I can if we can't catch them. You do not need to do a super chat to get your question answered, but we will obviously put the super chat questions up every single time.
That's kind of a real challenge because they come in a different color and they really jump out at you when they come in. So that's kind of a tough challenge to manage those. Hey, we got to shout out. Let me tell you what, Dr. Pepper needs to extend the borders a little bit because you cannot find a Dr. Pepper in Latvia. And there we go. Yeah. So thanks to our friends at Dr. Pepper. I usually pack some in my bag because I know overseas I'm not going to have them. But I was in such a hurry to get out of town this time that I completely blew it. I got my beef jerky, but I didn't get my Diet Dr. Pepper. And for those of you that are here in Europe, when you come to the States, you probably say our soda pop is too sweet, but you get here and doesn't it in every country, Skylar, just have a different taste?
Yeah, it's true. I remember the Coca-Cola from South Africa to South America to the US, and they're all very different. That's for sure.
Yep. Well, let's go to work. Heck.
Yeah, let's do it. Well, here's
see
a
what's
good one.
Going on.
Yeah. So Forever Young would like to know what we're doing in Latvia. And please, everybody, just know when we say Ask Mike Anything, we mean ask anything. And it can be Ask Tim anything, Ask Tyler anything. Anybody here, you can ask them anything. And we'll bring them in from the back office. You have questions for them. But ask anything, whether it's case related, Mike's favorite color, stuff like that. So sorry, Mike, what are you doing?
Yeah, no. So, hey, folks, I'm here on business for my day job, and I'm meeting with law enforcement and firefighters and emergency managers. I come to Europe every year for a couple of times and just regular old meetings. But the really cool thing is today, my meeting's canceled this morning. So I ended up this afternoon going to the KGB building, which the KGB came into Latvia in about 1920, during World War I. And then they left for a while. Nazi Germany came in during World War II. KGB got back in, and they stayed for 50 years. And I went to the KGB headquarters and into the prison cell below the KGB headquarters. And it was really terrifying to think of what people went through down there at the hands of the KGB. And I met with family members of the Profiling Evil family from Latvia today. So we had a blast. We talked, we discussed cases, and I even filmed one of them because she actually translated, because I decided to look at a serial killer case that'll come out this week on Profiling Evil, a serial killer that you're going to have a lot of fun with. So anyway, that's Great. What I'm doing in Latvia.
Here's a good question. I'm going to bring him in just for a second. Is Skylar and Tyler twins?
Wow.
We are twins, but we are born about 9 years apart and from different mothers.
Yep, that's true.
But I've only been married once.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Different fathers, different mothers. Yeah. So
yep.
No.
Yep.
That's a great question. Thanks, Rivers.
Oh, no. Sorry, Tyler. Okay. So Catherine McClure would like to know, asking, have you heard anything on Grandma Candace standing?
I have not, Catherine. And of course, a couple of days and you lose a lot of ground in this business. But I've been watching like crazy. And again, law enforcement has been so cautious not to release anything. there are lots of ghost stories out there. And so I'm listening to those and kind of writing them down. But until I can get something to validate things, I usually don't chat about it. But yeah, that case continues to go on. And there's some kind of funky things going on there that I just can't wrap my mind around. Like, I know there's a new reward out, a new reward opportunity and a donation opportunity, but some people are suggesting that you need to double check that. And so I just don't know who the valid sources are or not, but would just remind everybody, kind of check and double check on things, especially if you're going to donate. Make sure you're donating to a legitimate cause.
Awesome. Tina, thank you so much. Tina Garrett. So the question is, when we knew would come, what is your opinion on Chris's channel?
Oh, yeah. Tina, I think I know about as much as you know. I've been watching all of the news coming in, and, something I always say on Profiling Evil is I just don't want to come up with a theory until I've analyzed all the facts that I can analyze. And right now, I'm just reading as much as I can to try to understand what's happened. I've had no direct contact to know what's happening. So that's about the best I can do for you.
Yeah. Let's see. We just answered that one. Tammy Joe Corner, Skylar and Mike, King and Low, just wondering why there's no news about the 2 young women that were killed in Moab. Do you guys think that the murder is related to Gabby as well?
Yeah, Tammy Joe Corner. We talked a little bit about this last week. I know Sheriff White very well. I worked homicide cases with him many years ago when he was a detective. He's a really good detective, a really good investigator. All I know is that the sheriff's office said that the 2 cases weren't related in a letter that they posted on their Facebook page. Now, later, another letter came out retracting that, but it wasn't an official letter. I think KSL debunked that, one of the news stations. And so all I know is that they're saying it isn't. I still continue to struggle, though, Tammy Joe, with just the timing and the coincidence. Coincidence always bugs me in these cases and just makes me keep wanting to kind of resolve those things. So we'll continue to kind of look at that and see what goes on. I want to know when Brian flew back to Florida. That's the question.
Checking convictions. Ask Mike anything. Has Mike always worked with Court TV? I love seeing his views on there.
Oh, I've had an opportunity to do quite a bit with Court TV, usually once a week. And Vinnie Politan's actually been on Profiling Evil, and we just really like the Court TV team and their parent organization, and we continue to look for opportunities to collaborate with them. It's really nice to be able to join. Bobby Chacon, former FBI agent that I appear with on a regular basis, he and I have a great time talking through cases. Sometimes we agree. Most of the time we agree. Sometimes we disagree. And that's what makes it interesting.
Maui Swift, thank you so much.
Maui Swift, thank you so much. I saw something from you the other day I was going to comment on, but nonetheless, great to see your name pop up. Thank you.
Kirby 1150. Oh, wow. Grew up with Suzanne and Barry. What's the new news? Interesting.
Call me. Tell me what the new news is, Kirby 1150. But here, I'll tell you a couple of things that are pretty cool, and maybe we can dig into it deeper as we go on. But in fact, if the back office could pull up something, we'll just kind of tease a little bit. I'm going to come out with some videos later in the week or maybe next week, depending on how much time I get here in Latvia based on my meetings. But here's the cool thing. The DA's office has filed a motion to modify Barry's bond conditions, which is really cool because what they're saying is this is malarkey that you're living next to your house in that VRBO. And so they're calling him right on the carpet and saying, it doesn't work for you to be living that close. The people in that same community don't want Barry there. They're complaining that he's too close to them and it makes them uncomfortable. And so the DA has said, no, we want you to move. And they're even suggesting, I and I'm kind of guessing at this, but I think they're suggesting, move in with Shoshone or something like that. But that's the first biggie. The next biggie is that the temporary restraining order that was placed against Shoshone Dark was dismissed, and everybody just scratched their head wondering why that thing was dismissed. And yeah, there we can. If we can blow that up a little bit, that has been reinstituted, and there'll be a hearing in a couple of days on this. And that's kind of weird. Oh, there we go. But here's the news: is they missed the hearing. The complainant missed the hearing, and so there was a mix-up. It was never that the court threw it out because of a problem. The court threw it out because I think someone didn't appear. But now they're saying, look, Shoshone has been stalking me and my family at home and at work. You can see where I underlined that in red down here. They are alleging trespassing charges. I just clouded out the names. You can go find it if you want, but I just didn't think it was appropriate to put up names and harass people that way. We do too much of that, I think, in social media. But the good news is that this temporary restraining order, which I suspect will be filed and become a permanent restraining order, is in place and going forward. And this is what's really good stuff where we're looking right now. These allegations. My children were present when Shoshone showed up in Barry Morphew's truck, got out, approached my children. It scared her children. And that's one thing. Second is that they've left their home and had Shoshone stalking them. That is the second allegation. And then you notice where I put they down there with a little bracket around it. They asked for protection for the family. And since 2020, when they talked with law enforcement about Barry, and Shoshone has taunted and other things that have really made them nervous. So this will be pretty compelling to see what the judge does with it, and I'll visit it a little more in a letter, or in a video coming up. But the other thing I wanted to talk about, Kirby had no idea you unleashed the floodgates.
But by the way, Kirby did do a $20 super sticker. We'll get to it in a second.
Sweet.
I have a question queued up, so I don't want to lose this question because it'll disappear.
Thank you, Kirby. Yeah. That's really kind. Well, yeah, and you opened the floodgates here. But here's the other thing that's kind of cool that I don't know that people picked up on. In fact, I haven't heard anybody talking about it, and that is the intervention technology report. Everybody's going, what the heck is the intervention technology report? Well, if the back office could pull that one up, what it is the DA.
We're having technical difficulties in the back. Sorry. So
okay,
you'll just have to.
The DA came back and said, hey, listen, Barry's down there on Puma Path. GPS, which we know from all the phone traffic and everything else, doesn't work real well down there. So they are saying we want a company from Denver that has a lot more powerful GPS unit to be the one that's tracking him with the ankle bracelet, basically saying we want a more reliable way of tracking all of his movements on that. So this is good news too, is the court is now going to have to respond to that and get a stronger GPS that will work there on Puma Path, or at least at that point, wherever he ends up. So, Kirby, thanks a lot. That's all I know, man.
Don Marie just became a YouTube member. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks, Don Marie. Great to have you join. Hey, people, if you're not subscribed, would you please do so? We are creeping up on the 100,000 mark, and we certainly don't feel bad about that. We love all the support you've given us, and thank you.
So Mary Latorre, $5. This is a great time, Tim. If you can get the evidence room prepped. Sorry, got you on overdrive here. Can you please help with the Fawn Marie Mountain? Is it Mountain or Mountain? Missing from police drop Ball for 4 years. Original chief and detective had corruption issues. So, um, unless Mike, you have any information on this one, which I don't know if you do, this is a great
No.
example of our evidence room on profilingevil.com. We have a section where you can, let's see, Tim's showing you how to get to it right there. The evidence room, a section where you can enter in case information that you'd like us to talk about, cover. The ones that catch our attention are the ones that have all of the fields filled out with lots of information. Those are the ones that really catch our attention. So please, Mary, thank you so much for this donation. Please go over to the evidence room. The link should be down below. At least, if not, just profilingevil.com and you'll find it right across the top there. So yeah. Okay.
Great. I saw Sergeant Melinda dropped in, which I haven't seen her for a bit. Have exchanged some texts and other things with her, but good to see her. Hope her health is good and that she's happy there.
So Michelle Leonardo, who clicked? Who's in trouble? Michelle Leonardo, I am lost. Who is Shoshone? Is that BM's girlfriend?
Yeah, Shoshone Dark is Barry Morphew's alleged girlfriend, and I think he's been seen enough with her that it's probably fair to say that at least it's a close confidant of sorts. And she's the one that, I don't know, I've heard lots of different responses, but I see characteristics that are very much like Suzanne when I look at some of her younger pictures and earlier pictures. And I find that kind of interesting in and of itself.
Yeah. Let's see. Tyler, did you still have that one? Oh, Vanessa.
Hey, it's great. I'm glad Vanessa's here. We've had an opportunity to do quite a few shows together, and we talk on a regular basis. And Vanessa is always welcome, and I just love going on her show. It's just really nice. So thanks, Vanessa. Appreciate all you do.
So, just Jules, how is the Randy Leach search going?
Adventures with Purpose is out right now on the road. They actually, we spent, gosh, I don't know. I think we had the entire team helping them a couple days ago on one of the cases that they were working as we tried to uncover some things. They did find a body a few days ago, and there was a beautiful announcement I received today in email thanking them for coming out and helping the family recover their mother and loved one. Now, this is a really long, bad way of answering Randy Leach, and that is that I don't think anything's happening from our perspective, or and I know not from Adventures with Purpose, but we do stay in regular contact with them, and they continue to look. That challenge area is that river from the railroad bridge down, and man, the question is whether that car is under 10 feet of mud or not.
So I have a question right here, Mike, that it's not a question. It's more of a comment. Kirby also says, even though Barry might be guilty, don't harass his moms and sisters. They had nothing to do with it. And I think that goes for everything. Even if they are guilty, it's up to law enforcement to handle that. I don't think our goal here is to have anyone be treated poorly.
Yeah, thanks, Kirby. I think we have said over and over again, we even used the laundry case recently as an example. You can push too hard, and these families that are associated, that have people camping out on their front lawns with bullhorns and other things. Could you imagine being an innocent person living next door to that baloney? I mean, I know that emotions are high and that we want to see answers, and that we think maybe even putting that extra pressure might lead to something positive. But gosh, we gotta remember our decency.
So Emma Booth, hi Mike. Sorry I'm late. What are your thoughts on the Sarah Boone, a woman who locked her boyfriend in a suitcase and left him to die? Do you know that one? Interesting.
No,
Yeah,
there have been a couple of suitcase cases that have popped up in the news, and I saw a note just pop up about the evidence room, and and if we missed one, we missed it. If you put it in, we try to follow up on what we can. And gosh, I'm sorry if we miss you. There we go, Mary. Thanks. Maybe send an email and we'll look at it again. So email to profilingevil@gmail.com and we'll see if we can pull it up. And you may have submitted it a few times, but it may not have anything worth following up on, and we just have to look at it. And I can't say whether it does or not, but thank you.
Awesome. Sally Langendorf or Lagendorf. New to your channel and Audible podcast. Very informative and interesting. Love AWP too.
Oh, Sally, thank you. Yeah, Jared and I communicate almost daily. In fact, I think I had 3 texts from him today. And we try to help him behind the scenes and then step in where it makes sense. And Tanya, thank you for that. Tanya Delaware, thank you for that nice super sticker.
Awesome. Well, I'm working on a little surprise for you here, Mike. We'll see if it happens. So we'll keep this going. Dev Smith, do you think Brian's parents should be charged aiding and abetting?
Aiding and abetting, and I don't know that they actually could be charged with aiding and abetting at this point, but I'm kind of thinking out loud. On my last video that I did, I talked about what I thought were potential criminal charges that they could face, and those dealt more with obstructing justice, concealing evidence, destroying evidence, things like that. And you know, those are going to be kind of interesting. But if there's evidence coming up that they actually had something to do with this and aided him, there's a difference between helping him avoid being arrested and aiding him in a murder, if that's in fact what happened here. So I'm not sure what you mean, I roll by obstruction of justice, but that's one of the charges. Obstructing justice falls in when you are doing things to make it harder for law enforcement to get to the truth.
So got a little surprise for everybody, a little check-in on something they've been up to. What's up, Jared?
Holy cow! I've been talking about how cool you are, and I had no idea you were coming on. And Atlas, thanks for that kind chat.
Wait,
really neat.
The thing that you were saying nice about me?
Yeah, you better go back and listen to the recording just to prove it happened.
Listen, I don't have to do that right now. I don't know if you understand, but we're on a 44-day cross-country road trip right now. So far, I'm hoping to solve a missing case tomorrow in Philadelphia. We have some new information, new leads as to a boat ramp. Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to fill you in on part of what my intro is going to be tomorrow when I meet up with this gentleman named Rob, who got a hold of me, and he says, Jared, when you were here in Philly, here's what you missed. 15 years ago, when Danielle and Richard went missing, I went to visit my wife the next day, who was in the hospital, and the gate that was normally at the top of the duck tour boat ramp, the gate was smashed, it was open. And what if, the theory is, what if earlier in the day, Danielle and Richard started their day, from the information that we now have, at Dave and Buster's, which is right next door to this place. And then they made their way up to South Street for the bar. And then after that, Danielle lived over in Jersey. So he had to cross over one of the bridges to get back over to Philly. And the bridge that's right next to this duck boat ramp is the Benjamin Franklin Bridge. And so what if, instead of going over the Ben Franklin Bridge, one last, hey, before we go home, the bridge is lit up at night. So what if he was like, hey, maybe that gate's open, or maybe they crashed into it. I don't know. But, what if they, hey, let's go down and just one last little makeout session by the bridge before I take you home for the evening. And then what if they accidentally drove into the water there? That's what's going on tomorrow. So we have 2 locations that we're really going after with this new information. And that's going to be the first place that we're looking at tomorrow.
Awesome.
Well, I think that sounds really intriguing, and you cannot. I'm trying to think. The bridge that you're talking about is
That's a diesel,
is
brother.
that the bridge that's going over into like Gloucester City, or the one that goes into Camden? I'm trying to remember.
You have me on my phone at the moment, so I don't know. So we're look at South Philly is where we're at, and it's the bridge in South. It's the bridge, the Ben Franklin Bridge. In fact, if you just Google it, Ben Franklin Bridge, South Philly, and then
Yeah.
the west side of it, you're going to see a boat ramp, and that is the old boat ramp that the duck boats used to use.
Okay. Well, that's kind of interesting. So you're gonna have to let us. You're gonna have to let us do that. That's the one that goes into Camden, then Ben Franklin.
Yeah. Zoom in more.
Which is really good news, because you're really close to Pat's Cheesesteaks, and I just want to say, don't go to Gino's, but go to Pat's, and we'll see what kind of flack I get.
Zoom in on the west side.
I think this is
Okay.
who's.
Zoom in more right there.
Oh, that little thing.
Yeah, look at that little thing. That's where the ducks go in and out.
Well, that's great. Are you gonna let us know in the morning what you're doing?
Well, I just let you know now. At 9 o'clock is when I started, and that's going to be like o'clock your time.
Jared, Mike's in Latvia right now. It's 4 a.m. for him. He hasn't slept. We're just pushing through this tonight.
Right.
Have you got Philadelphia police helping you?
No, we just have some of our viewers and the locals here that are helping us out on this one.
Great.
All right. Skylar can make some phone calls and.
Well, let me not waste anybody's time first. Let me put my eyes on the truck for identify this as a crime scene, and then we'll call them in so that way they can come decide to do the recovery if they want us to do it.
That's awesome. Well, right across from that boat ramp, there's a nice little theater. If things fall apart, you can go watch an afternoon movie. But I know you guys don't ever rest. You have been working your tails off, and thanks for sending me notes. This is really a surprise. I had no idea. I want to know how are the boys doing, and how gamey does it smell inside that camper?
Extremely gamey, because the dog also urinated in here, and so
no.
But not to worry, because we're going old school, and we picked up some Pine Sol. How many families cleaned with nothing but Pine Sol back in the day? I know my family.
There we go.
Until that, that was until my father got wrangled into I'm sorry if anybody's in Melaleuca, I'm sorry, but way back in the day, I remember my father wrangled into that, and then he spent all on it. We had no Christmas, but we all got incredible Melaleuca stuff that year. Anyway, I was really happy when he went back to Pine Sol. I'm just saying.
Wait. All right. Hey, thanks so much, Jared.
That's awesome. Hey, Doug.
Good to see you. How's that new diver doing?
He's doing incredible. And then we have Carson editing back there as well. So he's been really busy. And then we have Josh has a couple of days off. His wife flew in from Oregon to New Hampshire to visit her sister and pick Josh up, so that way he could see his new baby as well. So
awesome.
Proper balance.
That's great.
Yep.
Well, you guys look great, and it looks like you're doing great things. I really appreciate the updates, and it was nice to help the other day. It was too bad we didn't have a chance to go back and second visit that, but sounds like there wasn't a chance of it matching up.
Shared that information, but you're welcome to share that information with the viewers. And I wish that you would have found out, hey, Jared, it's an Impala, or it looked like an Impala and not a Nova, and we were going to cancel. We were ready to cancel Philly because we were ready to go back to Rome because of the information that came up.
Yeah. Well, great. Well, you guys be safe. Thanks so much.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you later. Thanks for having us.
See you guys. Thanks, Jared. See you, Doug.
Yeah, what a treat to have those guys. Come on. Thanks, Skylar.
Yeah. Let's see. I have a question that Tim just sent me. I don't know where it is, but it asked if we could tell the Cliff story from She Knew No Fear. Do you know if you can zip through that quick?
Oh,
quick being the
Teresa.
keyword.
Well, you know what? We should do a show on She Knew No Fear and talk about the book because it is a remarkable story. And Tina, I kind of get long-winded. I'm constantly told I talk too long, but this is a portion in the story that they lower wagons and 2,000 head of cattle down a 2,000-foot cliff, which is absolutely incredible. We do need to come back and talk about that one, and maybe we just devote a show to She Knew No Fear.
So let's see, they're dog sitting. So it's actually their cameraman's dog. Is their producer cameraman's dog, everybody who's with them. Little husky. You can go follow their Instagram to see it. All right, let's see. Let me find a couple other questions. Sorry, I was a little.
Hey, maybe the back office could tee up a video I sent today in Latvia. I met one of the folks who like Profiling Evil, and I ended up signing a couple of books, and that was really a blast. I think it's the first book I've signed in Latvia, so that was fun.
So, Emma again. Mike, have you ever been to the UK to work? And if so, do you remember the case?
Actually, I've done a lot of stuff in the UK, but it's been on King Tut, and spent a lot of time at Shepherd's Bush. Of course, we have an office in the UK, and so I go there for work from time to time. And yes, I spent a great deal of time there. In fact, I even on one day, and this will just kill. Let me see. I got to zoom this in so I can see who I'm talking to here. Emma, this will kill you because I happened to be standing near one of the gates at Buckingham Palace, and I was talking to an officer leaving a meeting, and he said, "Just hang on here for a second. The Queen's going to drive out." And the Queen drove out, stopped the car, and waved to me, and then drove away, which is like really exciting for someone from the UK, and it was really fun to see the Queen. So
I had George W. Bush wave at me once.
Yes, you did.
That?
Yes, you did. Yeah, in fact, I think we saw him twice that day, didn't we?
Yeah, we were up at the Tomb
Arlington
of the Unknown
Cemetery.
Soldier. Yeah, we saw him up there, which was really cool on Memorial Day. Let's see.
Yeah, thank you, Stacy. Would you please convince the rest of the team that my long answers are worth something?
Stacy, you don't have to deal with the repercussions of me missing questions afterward. And it's all fun and games until Skylar starts getting hit in private messages for not getting your questions read. I asked Santa for your book, She Knew No Fear. That's awesome. Uh-oh.
We're going to have to push that heavy at Christmas time. I hope you'll all buy it for friends. So, yes, it is incredibly mean and very selfish. Thank you, Old Enough to Know. You certainly are.
Delicious. Is the back office doing something? I think they're doing something. Anna Reed, new member. Thank you.
Thank you. That's awesome. So now you have 2 new books that you ordered.
Oh, I do. I've got 2 of Mike's books. As I watched Mike advertising or promoting them.
Exactly. Shamelessly promoting
on and telling a little bit, just giving us a little bit of inside what to expect in those books. I was like watching, and I thought to myself, oh, maybe one day I can get those. And here I am, and the books in my hand. I'm so happy. Thank you, Mike.
So the last question I want to ask you is, why do you watch Profiling Evil?
Because I'm interested in solving crimes. I like to see the bad guys caught and to get them punished. And then I'm very much interested in how people do this, how law enforcement work, what methods they use to catch the criminals, different ways. And why I started watching Profiling Evil, because it was interesting, and I like the manner, the presentation, the attitude, and the content of this channel.
Any question for me?
How long are you going to go on?
And isn't that a great question? Thank you, Sandra.
You're welcome.
Oh man, what a pleasure to be in Latvia. And you know, they say that the Latvian people are some of the sweetest people on the planet, and I'll tell you what, they are accommodating and kind. But I was looking at this serial killer case here, responsible for 38 murders, and it was really valuable to have a Latvian explaining and certainly translating for me. So that was really something. So shout out to Sandra. And by the way, we're going to put this on audio on Wednesday. And then on Friday, we're going to move up the Friday session to noon so that Sandra can be on, because it would be 9 o'clock here. So anyway, there we go.
Yes, Dave, I have several, obviously reprints of the original patents for different Gibson and other type guitars in the back there.
I think he owns more guitars than Guitar City, Dave.
Guitar Center.
Oh, okay.
Let's see here. Again, you know, sorry, I'm trying to read everyone's comments, make sure everyone's happy. Y'all are chatting with each other, which is fantastic.
Hey, and while we're doing that, I'd love to
ahead.
have maybe Tim update everybody on where we are on the BOLO at some point. So maybe we could have Tim jump in and just remind people how they can register for the BOLO free of charge. And holy cow, I'm noticing some gray in that beard there, Tim.
It's all these nights at Profiling Evil, staying up late, trying to keep tabs on everything going on. Yes, I am getting gray. Comes with experience. I just want to be like you, Mike. I want to be like Mike.
Hey, Tim, anyway. You didn't take Tyler's notes that you're supposed to get all of our heads the same size. There we go.
I'm trying.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. All right, the BOLO. Why I'm here. The BOLO is our bi-monthly or bi-weekly. Is it bi-monthly or bi-weekly? I'd love to see that in the chat. Twice a month newsletter. Okay. Twice a month newsletter that goes out. We like to throw in a little exclusive content in there. In fact, we released a little short video of Dr. Phil early to the BOLO subscribers last week, and then that became public later. So as a member of the BOLO, you get reminded about the previous or the current episode of the podcast, maybe some videos that we've done that we really want you to see, and then, of course, exclusive BOLO content. And we also like to throw in some discounts to merchandise on the Profiling Evil shop, which we have a ton of stuff on there, from T-shirts to hoodies. It's October. It's getting cold. I bet Mike wishes he had a Profiling hoodie sweatshirt there in Latvia. To a barbecue apron for next year. So if you're looking for Christmas gifts, there's more than just books on there. But yeah, subscribe to the BOLO by going to the website, profilingevil.com. And you will see a link at the top, and you just fill out your information. If it's your first time to the site, it'll pop up right in front of your face. Just put in your email real quick. We have a ton of subscribers on it, and we want to thank each and every one of you for being a subscriber there. It's just another outlet for Profiling Evil if you can't get enough of Mike and the team. So
yeah, you can get enough. Thanks, Tim. That's awesome. And MC, thank you. Maybe the back office could pull up that reminded me. Dr. Phil was so funny this week when we finished filming for an episode that's coming up. So maybe the back office could throw that up and we could play that video that he did. It's pretty darn short. So what else we got here, Skylar?
So again, MC, get this channel up to 200K by 2022. Oh boy.
Well, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's, and I think it's because of everybody in here, honestly. Lady Gigi, my king is king. I don't know about that.
Hey, and I just want to mention, in fact, I'm trying to think back who it was, but the proceeds from deceived folks are going to build a new children's justice center. We've been pretty darn blessed, and we try to help out where we can. We've been trying to help on a number of different fronts, but just really appreciate it. It's wonderful to see these donations coming in. But when we had something like the need for a headstone a few weeks ago, you folks just stepped right up and helped us buy this headstone for Lloyd Reese, and we just really appreciate it.
So, Dirty Mag Yakers.
Yacker.
A mag
okay. Yacker.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry, guys. Thanks, Mike. I need to interview you again. Magnet fishing, solving crimes with guns. Thanks for all you do.
Hey, it'd be great.
Awesome.
You guys rock finding weapons and just really fun having you on. Thanks. Dooms 4174. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So, Cassie Laundry, I'm being ignored by family and thrown under the bus. Really interesting, isn't it? It's going to be interesting to see what really transpired there. But again, I thought that was interesting how the community kind of shifted to her house. And I keep thinking of all those neighbors that are having to listen to people on a bullhorn or other things. And I just hope we're being decent about how we advocate for others.
That's awesome. Mike is looking slimmer.
Oh man, Sarah, would you please send that to my sweetheart, because she would disagree, but that's really nice. It might be the fact that I haven't slept in 3 days.
Lady CG just became a YouTube member.
Thank you. Glad to have you on board. Thank you so much.
Web Goddess, Profiling Evil equals best YouTube crime channel ever. Well, we appreciate that. Mike works incredibly hard. It's 4 a.m. for him in Latvia right now. Tyler, Tim both work incredibly hard, and we try to bring just as quality content as we can and fact-based content. So we hope you don't get upset with us when we say we don't know, but it's the way to do things. Brent Montgomery with $20.
Hey, Brent, great to see your name pop up. Thanks.
Yeah, Brent, thank you. Sergeant Mike, what's your take on the 45% increase in abductions, missing, Colts, and homicide rate? 2019 pre-COVID, I'm assuming, is that what that meant? Any advice for parents who are parents in protecting them better? Not being up to speed on crime. Let's see, is there a little more to that? On crime.
Melinda, I guess I got to go back to a year ago. I was saying, hang on to your seats, because next
year,
and
non-single parents. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. Next year which is now, we're gonna see those numbers get bigger, and I think once children get fully back to school, we're gonna see the numbers continue to climb. You cannot take them away from a safety net, like a place where they can report. You cannot take people who can't get to a doctor and see a doctor during COVID or other things and not have a floodgate that's going to open up. And I think everyone is seeing it and reporting it. I think the 30% increase in homicides last year, I think, is what I read from the latest report. COVID's bad, and all the police departments are claiming that they're doing so much better on property crime. Well, people weren't out burglarizing houses, but they were still committing assaults and domestic violence cases, which we're going to pay for.
So Michelle Skelly, Mike, do you feel like the Laundries are throwing one child under the bus to protect another? I have 3 grown children. I can't imagine. I mean, me and my siblings, my brother and sister, I think we all like to think the others are the spoiled ones in the family. And I can't imagine my parents even doing something like that. It's an interesting, very interesting thought.
Michelle, here's something I'd like everyone to maybe think about, and I'd love some to read some comments in the chat box. But here's my take on this is 8 months or 9 months ago, I was talking about the Atlanta shooter. If you remember, Aaron, I think it was Aaron Long. his last name was Long. This is the fellow that shot 8 Asians, 1 man, 7 women in massage parlors. The moment his parents saw his car in the news, they contacted police and told them where that boy was and how to find him and everything that they could about him. I think it was just as painful for them as it would have been for any parent, but that's what a responsible parent does. Get them the best legal advice you can get them the best attorney you can afford, do whatever you have to do. But then we see this entire different example, and it makes you really scratch your head. I just don't get it.
Styler.
He is
Maybe that's a
handsome
mix
young
between
man.
me and Tyler.
His
Or maybe
mother
she
is
meant
not a
Tyler.
handsome woman, though, if that's what you're saying, Sharon. But she is a beauty.
See,
I didn't see that. I can't read it because my glasses aren't on.
it's Styler or Tyler or Skyler. We'll Sharon, we're gonna need you to
I
clarify.
think they're talking about you for sure.
I think it's the mixture.
Oh geez. Let's see. I missed a member. Sherry G. Thank you for becoming a new member. We really
Hey,
appreciate
welcome
that.
aboard.
Here's a good question. C Dub. Could the FBI know where Brian Laundrie is, but are waiting to apprehend him until they have enough evidence on the homicide to prevent the clock from starting on the possible murder charge?
Yeah, they've got a case right now that they can charge him with and probably hold him, deny bail because of what he's gone through right now. C Dub, I would suggest that they don't know where he is. That's a really interesting angle, though. You know, and in fact, I got to just ramble a little further here.
Sure.
Michelle McPhee, who's been on our show many times, knew the Sinarlev brothers very well, wrote Mayhem, has an incredible podcast going on right now. She talked over and over again about what she believes was the FBI taking care of informants and then charging them at a later time. But I just don't see it happening in this.
Yeah. Oh, very good question. Is Skylar your favorite?
Skylar is my favorite youngest child, Maito, and thank you.
So here's an interesting question. This is something that we were on the phone today as a group, and we saw this news article of, do you think the pic they're showing is Brian Laundrie, supposedly around Virginia? And there's also a hiker saying he was on the Carolina border. Is that right? Something like that they saw him there? Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. Can you imagine how difficult this is for law enforcement right now with all of the tips that are coming in? Look what happened on the game camera and how much time was spent just vetting that. It's a huge job, Kathy. I just don't know. Really interesting.
All right. And everybody, before we move on, we are going to end on time this evening. Mike is, it's almost 4 a.m. for him. He's got several meetings in a few hours, and so he should probably get a little bit of rest anyway. And we will not, sorry to our members, because Mike is in Latvia, we will not be having a members only chat afterward. But we will make sure next month we for sure have one. But yeah, Mike, let's go ahead and move to this one. So get your questions in now. We'll end in a few minutes. We don't have to end right at 7, but around 7:05, around there. Suffragium. It's not only affecting the sister, but her children and the legacy of the Laundrie family. What will be left when they have scorched earth?
Boy, tough family challenge going on in that family. And again, I look at Aaron Long's parents. I can't imagine having a child who committed 7 homicides, and you just take them in and say we're gonna be responsible. It's interesting. Red Rock 59, great to see you again. Thank you.
Yeah, asking if law enforcement's ruled out the escapee from Kansas in the death of the newlyweds.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? We're not hearing much from that, but I'll tell you what, that guy is scary. And folks, if you haven't read up on him and what he went through, to get out. Really frightening, and certainly someone that they have to consider as they look at that homicide case.
Yeah, Fuzzy Doxy, thank you. I'm sure there are a bunch of people that look like Brian. Yes, I would imagine Brian has a wig or a hat or shaved, possibly. It only makes sense. Interesting.
Yeah. Great
Well,
comment. Thank you.
I think we're getting close to wrapping up. Everybody, again, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel, like the videos, go check out some of the other videos. We won't say much now, but once we hit 100,000 subscribers, we have a very special surprise for the entire Profiling Evil family. So we're excited for that once we hit 100,000 subscribers. So yeah, please go subscribe, ring the bell, do all that kind of stuff, you know, that you're supposed to do on YouTube. They caught him in Utah mental institution, right?
Yeah, I think he escaped. Didn't he escape from Kansas and was captured in Utah?
Mary LeBlanc, I appreciate your comment regarding how we are advocating. We all need to be reminded. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Mary. I mean, we don't want to stop being caring people. We just want to be caring people.
Yeah. Liz Gaspari of Gaspari Nutrition saying, big hello, Mike. Love your channel, and I'm always listening while I'm working. That's
Thanks,
awesome.
Liz. It's great. And I can't remember where you are, but if you're working right now, you might be out in Hawaii or something.
Anything new with Aiden Fucci?
Hey, Joyce, mental health evaluation going on right now. If you caught him in that last mental health crises or really bad acting class that he was in, he's now being evaluated, rightly so, by the court to get rid of that as something to worry about.
Fuzzy Doxy, appreciate you becoming a
Thank you
member.
for joining up.
Again, we'll keep this one short because I'm sure we could talk about this one a little bit. Glam Dolly 30 and Glam Dolly, please remind us on our next live once Mike has had a little more rest under his belt. Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd criticized Moab cops on body cam for letting Brian Laundrie go on the run. Does Mike agree cops mishandled the Gabby Petito case?
So, you know, I have met Sheriff Grady a number of times at the Major County Sheriff's Association meetings that I attend. I think he's incredibly good at socialized information. I just don't know that it makes sense for him to be criticizing another agency, especially with a completely different set of circumstances. I just don't know. I mean, I think that there are things that were done right and things that with 2020 vision, you certainly wish they would have done differently. And while we would never want Gabby's case to be a learning thing, we have to get better at this stuff that we do. We have to get better. But man, think about this. We take cops and we put them on the street with 400, 600 hours of training. We give them a weapon and we tell them, go solve problems and move people to the next level in the thing, whether it's mental health or a jail or send them back to get warm cookies and milk. And these cops are doing things that a lot of folks never will have to face, like be a counselor one minute, a lifesaver the next. And man, there is certainly things that need to be fixed. But I don't know. Sheriff Judd will probably call me and chew me out for even saying that. But I just think kind of stick to your own set of problems and see if you can help others.
LM,
thank you.
Well, Mike, Skylar, and Tyler, and Tim. You can't forget Tim.
Yeah.
One of the Diesel brothers or something. Well, I think we're wrapped up. We might see a couple more questions trickle in. But thanks, Mike, for hanging out with us while you're, sitting in Latvia at 2 or 3 or 4 in the morning. We appreciate it as always.
Oh man, I'm just thrilled to be with y'all, and like I say, it's great here. We'll be doing a repeat tomorrow, so please catch us on Court TV. And next week we'll be doing choir practice from Poland. And the week after that, Germany, somewhere in Germany. And then I get to come home. So it'll be nice.
Tanya Houseman, thank you so much.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
That's
hey,
awesome.
Please hit the subscribe button, folks. We love having you join the family.
Yeah. We're very let's see. Do a live outside in
Okay,
Latvia.
I gotta say, Liz, I tried to do a live today. I think I started 2 or 3 different lives. If you were some of those people that were waiting for me for like an hour, I don't know what I'm doing, and I really need the back office because I stood there like an idiot out in the middle of town square talking on my phone, and then I realized nothing was happening. So there was a beautiful presentation out there as a practice run. Someday I'll figure out how to do that from my phone.
We'll get him to record some stuff on his phone, and then we'll upload it.
Yeah.
Is it really easy to hide from the FBI and police in 2021?
Thanks for your comments, Web Goddess. That's awesome. And that's the other thing. I just really appreciate how you're all willing to critique, but you do it in such a classy way. And there's just, because you know what? We all got stuff that we're really unhappy about, and we want to argue points. And I just really appreciate the way you all just critique constructively, because that's what this should be. We're not turning off comments. We're not. We can do that because you all keep it above board. So thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thanks everybody. Again, we're here to shed light on cases, to keep them alive as long as we can. We're not here to start any fires. We want to make sure you all know about some very important cases out there, and also bring very important cases to us and keep them alive. So we appreciate everybody for stopping in. And again, Mike, thanks again. Let's make it over the 100K mark. We're going to try. Like I said, we've got a special surprise once we hit 100K. But we're still working on it. So that's why we haven't done it yet.
Sherilyn, thanks for that. We really do try to just do this in a way that makes sense. And we hope that we have never embarrassed any of you as we've gone through this. Thanks, Miss MacGyver. That's
Miss
awesome.
MacGyver. We're gonna take it from there, and we're gonna push him to bed now.
Hey, thanks everybody. Have a great evening.
Hang on. Check out the private chat there, Mike. Let's see
here.
Tyler, if you got something on your mind, kick it out. No? Okay. We're all tired.
All right.
I think we're good.
Thanks,
well, thanks everybody.